I don't like to call myself a self-improvement influencer or a self-improvement YouTuber or whatever. In fact, I actually find the term self-improvement or self-growth or self-development, I find that pretty cringy. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, there's just something to it which just makes me like cringe for some reason. And I don't want to associate myself with these guys. I put it in my description and all this stuff. Sure, I might put it in my description. Sure, I might put it in my tags or whatever for this YouTube video. But it's solely to get the audience that I need. Because before I was doing this, before I was putting in my tags or whatever, bro, I was getting some random people just to look at my video. And this is because of the stuff that I don't agree with self-improvement. So, for example, like the hypocrisy inside of it. A lot of these guys who you see, a lot of them like who look up to and all this stuff on their podcast or on their video, just like how I'm talking to you right now. A lot of them are just hypocrites, and I'm not saying in the sense that they don't completely obey everything that they teach. Even I don't completely obey everything that I teach. Even I have problems or whatever, right? But I'm not one who publicizes it. I'm not one who's gonna say something that went against my previous teachings, unless it was a very long time ago. And that's something that's very different with these self-improvement guys. You can see them talking about like family and all this stuff, a bunch of these like very good values and all this stuff. Like, I'm like, oh, this guy's actually like changing as a person. They're talking about family, they're talking about religion, they're talking about these good values, these traditional values, right? And then the next day, what happens? You see their YouTube or you see their live stream or whatever, and what are they talking about? What are they talking about? They're talking about how to get girls when the day before they're talking about family values or whatever, bro. How can you be saying that? That's the reason as to why I don't want to compare it with these guys, because every single time someone mentions self-improvement, I always think of those guys. And I'm not going to call any names out because that would be backbiting. That's against my religion. They acknowledge that they have problems, they point them out, and they say, oh, I'm going to work on this. But then the next day they fall back into that thing and they publicize it. They publicize their hedonistic lifestyle and they, promote it just for the views, just for the money. Because that's what sells. If you talk about getting girls or whatever, bro, people search that up every single day. That is what sells. That's what's going to be recommended to a bunch of people who are trying to improve their life or whatever, because a lot of people are trying to do this simply for the worldly life. A bunch of these self-improvement YouTubers or whatever, bro, they simply talk about going to the gym and all this stuff simply to get girls, simply for that desire. And so that's something that I can't really agree on. When I used to watch these guys, when I used to watch these, improvement YouTubers or whatever, bro, there was something that didn't click with me, and that's the fact that they always talked about this girl stuff, bro. They always talked about how to get girls and try to sleep with as many women as possible, and that's just something I don't agree with. I actually have an objective morality. These guys are just trying to go after their desires, right? These guys are doing everything, doing all that hard work just to go after their desires, and that's something that I can't relate to, and that's why I don't want to compare myself to those guys. I don't want to call myself a self-improvement guy, because whenever I say that, I always feel like I'm comparing myself to these other guys who are who are always changing up their beliefs or whatever. You don't really know what they actually believe. Like, for example, like Andrew Tate, I don't completely agree with him. I don't follow him at all. And I do recognize that a bunch of people just blindly follow with this guy as well. And he's just an ordinary person as well. He's not someone who you should completely look up to or anything, right? But I am going to say that, for example, from last year, from June 2022 to this year, June 2023, he has grown a lot, and I have seen some characteristics, some visible changes that he's going through and all this stuff. And he's also talking about some very good stuff, some very beneficial stuff that a lot of these guys don't really talk about. And also, he doesn't contradict that either. He doesn't go the next day, the next week or whatever. He doesn't make a post saying, oh, you need to sleep with the girls or whatever. He doesn't do that, because he's simply saying what he truly believes. But that's not what you see with a bunch of these self-improvement guys. And so really, and once you start to stop watching these guys and all this stuff, you start to truly see how kind of a toxic community this kind of is. You start to see every single time you go on their comment section, they're always it's always such I don't even know, man. It just feels like you're looking at propaganda. Their entire comment section is just full of a bunch of people just praising that one guy. It feels like little propaganda, bro. And when I talked about how I found it cringy, I feel like a major part of the reason is because of a lot of the guys who support this movement. Those are the reasons as to why I don't agree with it. I have my objective morality from somewhere else. I don't look up to a specific person alive today that is trying to dictate everything that I should do with my life and all this stuff, bro. I get my objective morality from religion. But if you are watching these self-improvement guys or whatever, bro, if you're even watching me, you have to take everything that we talk about, you have to take everything that these guys talk about with an extremely big grain of salt. and you can't let them like brainwash you or anything, and you have to make sure that you're not falling into these guys' money traps and their, kind of propaganda of promoting this hedonistic lifestyle, of improving your life to live a hedonistic lifestyle. So yeah, I'm just gonna wrap it up there. I know this is a very important video for me to make. It's been on my mind for a while, but I don't know. I don't really know how to make a video about it or something. I couldn't really articulate my thoughts like that. Yeah, bro. My name is JBM. Stay focused. Don't follow these guys blindly. Don't follow me blindly. Take care. Peace.